Okay, so thank you all for joining. This is Tech and Powerhouse. My name is Professor Tammy. I'll be, your moderator, and others will be joining me as we go. Can you ladies hear me? I'm sure you can. Welcome, T. So thank you all for joining. So today is very crucial. We're going to be discussing about software development life cycle. Make sure, I'm sure you already followed the room, but people that are coming will also follow the room as they come. Yeah, you know who I am, so I don't have to say that too much because I'll reset the room later. So I've been in tech for a long time and I love to give back to empower the community. So pretty much looking at everybody here is Made, you are all my students. So I thank you all for being here. Look through the hallway and let's ping in at least 5 people each. Keep pinging them until they find out that something is actually going on in this room. Let's find out. Keep pinging them, bug them, let them come, So today we're discussing about software development life cycle. Dianna, thank you for joining us. We're just getting started. Looking into software development life cycle. So what is SDLC for my students that are into cybersecurity or the others that are into software engineering, data analysis? It doesn't matter what area of, even Scrum Master, project management, you will get to use this life cycle. It's very important that you follow it closely so that you know what it entails. So this is a process. It's used by software industry to design, to develop and test their software and applications. So when you have a company, maybe a developing company like Microsoft, like, any kind of company, like all these fine companies that did work a lot with product and software, they have a process that help them with their development and testing and deployment. So one of these is the software development life cycle. So it aims to produce high quality software that meets and exceed customer expectation and reach completion within time and cost estimate. So that means in reality, a customer might approach a company like myself. I have an IT company and I've had this company for more than 16 years. So let's say we have a customer and the customer will approach my company and ask me, can you please create an app for me or create a website for me? There's a process for me to gather the information and to create the website. I don't just take requirements from customer and then just go ahead and start creating a website or developing the website. No, I have to take this step by step to get things done. And this is not only applicable to software products, it's applicable to other products that are not software, but that are product related that you have to create and design. You can apply it to those as well. And also, if you have to work on certain projects, you can also apply something similar to this as well, okay? When we do cybersecurity, in our cybersecurity classes, we call this system development life cycle. So when we say system development and software development, they are very similar, and you will see why. So we aim to produce high quality product software that will meet the customer requirement, because if the customer will ask you, we bring in like, okay, can you create a software for me, an app for me, and you are not careful, you are not following the process, you might, not be able to meet the requirements. So you want to be able to meet the customer expectation and also exceed the customer expectation so that the customer can always come back for more. And then, it's in record time and it's according to their budgets and cost, cost effective. So this, when you say SDLC, is the acronym for Software Development Lifecycle, and you will see that over and over. Thank you, Nate, for joining. Thank you, Carlson, for joining us. So SDLC is a framework and defining tasks performed at each step of the process. We're going to break it down. We're going to go in. If you have any input to add, please feel free to come up. I know some of you have technical background. Feel free to come up. You can do that. That's okay. That's okay. Miss Tu, thank you for joining. So, yeah, Michelle, thank you for joining. Thank you for people that are joining us. Ruben, Natalie, thank you so much. So we are looking at software development life cycle. And so there are there's different steps involving in this. And we're going to look at these different steps. Busola, thank you for joining. Princess, thank you for joining. So the software development life cycle, we're going to look at the process. Like I mentioned earlier, the process is followed by software projects within software organization. Okay, so all these all these companies, they follow this process to be able to develop software products that are in record time, according to budget for the customer, and make sure the customer is satisfied. It consists of detailed plan. So describing how to develop the system, how to maintain it, replace it when needed, alter, enhance all this software. So all of these things are all into one, all into this process. So it includes various stages, and we're going to be looking at the various stages, and I'm going to be breaking down these stages, okay? Ms. Toots, can you quickly introduce yourself? So we're going to continue from there. Thank you, Ms. Toots, for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Good day. I am a cybersecurity analyst, and I'm here to support Professor Tammy. And I do work on the software development lifecycle when dealing with, cybersecurity, implementing systems and designing, the phases of software development cycle for a particular application. I would like to encourage everyone to please follow the Tech and Powerhouse. We are giving you all free information. This is a college level information that we're giving you all here on Clubhouse. Please follow Professor Tammy and consult with her. Tag all your friends and family members, any family members or friends that you have that would like to transition their career into the software IT industry. Please have them get in touch with Professor Tammy. Her phone number is in the PTR profile picture. She will help to, help you all, consult with you all, and help you all transition your career into the software IT industry. She did the same thing for me many years ago, and I'm still taking classes with her as now. And I was able to find a job successfully. By the time I started my second class with Professor Tammy, I was offered, my career, a well-paying job in cybersecurity. So I want to encourage you all, and I'm still taking classes with her right now, even as I work, right? So you're never going to stop learning. You're always going to keep learning new tools in the tech industry. I want to encourage everyone. This is a real life-changing process, and she can help you to get into cybersecurity in 120 days. This is real. This happened to me, and I'm a living testimony, and she is my professor. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tutu. I love your passion. I love that you follow instruction and you are still learning. And Tutu is just an example of what we are saying. You can break into tech. Tutu's background was healthcare. She was in healthcare before she broke into tech. She was scared like you are as well. She wasn't sure. I think she was following me for 3 years before she would call me this year and say, Miss Tammy, I want to break into tech. And then she will not call again. Then she will call again. Finally, 3 years later, she decided to do it that time. And then she got a job, like immediately second class. She was even not starting second class yet that time. She got a job and she was shocked. Like, really? How I wish I've done this earlier. I'm sure I've trained more than 20 of Tutu's friends, and they are all working. They are doing so well. Most of them are so shy to come on Clubhouse, but thanks that Tutu is always here to support.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I was scared, and I want to tell you all, do not be afraid at all. This software development lifecycle, these are things that are going to be on your job description, right? So when you're going for your interviews, you can speak about the software development lifecycle and how you apply that to cybersecurity, how you apply that to, policies and information security. You can speak confidently about this during your interview process. Okay, so we're giving you all free information, college level information, what you will pay for in school, right? Only thing we're not giving right now is the materials because it's not a visual app, right? Because if it was a visual app, I'm pretty sure we'll give you the visuals too, right? But I want to encourage you all. Tech career is a future-proof field. During this COVID, I was able to get more jobs while people were losing their jobs. Okay, I'm not lying. I'm on my third job right now, right? So while people were losing jobs and worrying about PPP loan and stimulus check, I can't even qualify for that, right? Because obviously, when you're in a tech field, you're going to be getting paid very well. So I don't even qualify for the stimulus check because it's a high income earning field. You will earn a good living and you don't have to worry about losing your job and being laid off, and you're working from home. Okay, so I want to encourage you all. This is real information you're going to be getting from here. We're giving you guys tips, interview tips, things that you're going to find on your job description, software development lifecycle. It's on everybody's any tech job description you see out there. They're going to talk about the SDLC. And the SDLC is what you need to explain to them in relation to the web applications when you're doing your interview. And this is going to build your guys' confidence, right? When you're taking Professor Tammy's class, you're going to build your confidence. When you're listening to what we're doing right now, you're going to build your confidence more, because if I can do it, I did interview inside my car, okay? I did the first interview inside my car years ago, and I was offered that job. So they didn't even know I was in my car. And now that we're in COVID, you can really do your interviews, at the convenience of your own house. You can kind of look at your cell phone, try to get, refresh your memories because you're not in front of them. So I want to encourage everybody, ping people in, please. Ping more people in. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Toots. And Miss Toots was telling me, say, Miss Tammy, I've never made money like this in my life. I'll just say that. You say, Miss Tammy, the kind of money I made during this COVID, I cannot believe it. I was like, wow. This is for real, guys. This is for real. It's not even a joke, okay? You have a mentor, somebody that can help you, mentor you, don't play with it. Please take it seriously. And plus, our courses are so cheap. Even sometimes I tell myself, why is your course so cheap like this? My course is like $1,500, $1,000. The course that you pay $3,500 for. Security plus is $3,500.
One of my friends, when I was trying to get in, I was asking him questions because I wasn't sure who's, where to go to training and who's training. I wanted to see which training he went through just to get, be nosy, right? He paid $3,700, I think $3,000 for CAP class, right? Professor Tammy did not charge me $3,000. She didn't charge me $3,000 for one class. So imagine, that was back in 2016, no, he took the class, I think, 2015. So yes, and if he paid $3,000 for it, you think their classes are cheaper now? No, those classes are still expensive. And the exam for CAP is even more expensive. So, you're saving a lot of money. And if you take it in college, you're going to have to take prerequisites, and they're going to charge you $3,000 plus technology fees and admin fees and all these other fees and school fees. So, yeah.
And not even only that, I have some people in the audience that are my students. They actually went to college for it. And then I have to train them again because there's no hands-on in college. In college, it's just theory. I'm also a professor. I lecture at 3 universities right now. In college, we don't spend this kind of time with you. Like I said, this is all I do for a college for a week. It's just 1 hour. And I give you your own work. Go do it. Go figure. Then I just grade you. But our classes, some classes are 3 hours. We go through the labs. We work on it. Go through everything. Then we come back to class, discuss their group. Like right here, I probably have more than 10 of my students. More than 10. Okay? They know. You have, everything is recorded, it's online, you get access to all the recordings, we come back and discuss, they have their own group discussions, they come back and discuss, we come back to class, do a test, do a review, so you're never gonna be alone. Embrace tech, embrace these classes, don't take it like, I don't know, we work with you. Don't say I don't have the money. You will never have the money anyway for it. Nobody will have this kind of money and keep it somewhere. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. It's not as if you have this money and keep it under your bed. Or you pay as you go. And don't be scared to come, because you can talk to me. You can approach me. I can help you. Don't stay there and say I can't do it. You can. You can do it. Just take a step of faith and move forward this season. I thank Sham for joining us. I thank Dianna. Please feel free to come up and support us. I know you all use this at work. Thank you. I'm bringing, yes, yes, yes. Thank you all for joining. Yes, I'm bringing you up. Holy Spirit, what did I do? What happened? Okay. I hope you can all hear me. Miss Toots, can you hear me?
That was strange.
Yeah, that was strange, right?
Really strange, yeah.
I hope I didn't press something. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but we are back.
Hi, Tammy. Hi, Miss Toots. Hi, Dianna. Hi, everybody else.
Thank you all so much.
Very good.
Yeah, can you please introduce yourself, Sham and Dianna, then we can continue. Thank you, ladies.
Of course, of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Sham. I've been in the tech industry for over a decade now. I work as a senior IT account manager. I work in partnership with people like HP, Dell, Cisco, AWS, Amazon, you name it, we deal with them. They're our partners. We're actually very top high partners in the UK. I'm also a tech mentor, and I have a special interest in women and ethnic minorities because of the recent stats in the UK where only 4% of the UK tech workforce is Black, Asian or minority, which is really shocking, and only 5% of women are in leaderships. Not even going to guess the stats for how many of the women are Black, Asian or minority. And I'm also the co-founder of Tech UK. We hold a space every Mondays at 6 p.m. We've actually got one this Monday, careers fair. So if anyone's interested, please do come along. There's also going to be some information with regards to sponsors and visas and things like that. I will pass it on to Dianna, but you know, just in case, because sometimes I do get calls and I have to go. Please, everyone, Tammy is one of the most nicest people on this platform, as is everyone else and all the other mods. Please, please, please do sign up to her cybersecurity. If I was in this industry and I had nobody to support me, I promise you, going back in time, there was nothing like this. No mentors, no coaches, nothing. And part of me, as much as I love my job and I've been able to have a very successful career, sometimes I wish I was a little bit more technical. So I would strongly advise people. In fact, some of my mentors I'm going to be passing over to Tammy. So Tammy, I want to have a conversation with you offline and we'll take it from there. Sorry, really busy. My sister's wedding, lots going on, but I love coming and supporting her because I get very good energy from her, Miss Toots, Dianna, and everyone else. So, you know, I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I'm Sham and I'm done speaking. Dianna, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sham. Thank you for always coming. We love you. Thank you so much. Yes, Miss Dianna, go ahead, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Everything she said. Thank you so much. My name is Dianna Smith, and I'm the founder and CEO of Circle of Opportunities. I'm an executive career coach, resume writer, and tech recruiter, helping people break into tech and other industries as well. So always happy to be here. I second everything that Shannon said. You are all very privileged to be in this room and to have so much great access to resources, information, trainings, boot camps, mentorship, coaching. Please utilize it, use it as much as you can, and don't let this moment pass you by. Sign up, you know, whatever course you need to sign up for, whatever training, get the education, and then you'll be in a stronger position to apply for the roles and the companies that you're interested in. So back over to you, Ms. Tammy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Dianna. Thank you for all that you do. I cannot thank you enough because when I close my eyes and I open it and there's nobody, you are there. Literally there. If you put Dianna on any program, she will come. If you, in fact, I thank you. I thank you a lot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So, you're welcome, man. Thank you. So let's keep going now. So if you want to join us up here, you want to contribute, you have a question, please feel free to come. Like I always say, this is not my room. It's your room too. It's created for you. Tech and Powerhouse. Make sure you click on the green button, the green house, and follow the room. Invite your friends that are in some gist room there because you're having a free class. Let them come to a free class and then go back to their gist room later. This is just 1 hour. We only have 30 minutes left. So please come and learn. And this will be very useful to you. Ms. Tut was mentioning, I have a slide here. I'm on Zoom, it's recorded. So I have a slide here and it's gonna go on YouTube. So whenever you have time, go on my YouTube channel. You will see all of Clubhouse that we've ever had. It's gonna be on YouTube and you can watch them and see the slide from where I'm presenting to you. Whenever I come on Clubhouse, I always prepare at least 1 hour preparation. I don't just come on Clubhouse and just talk. I can't do it. It has to be quality. It has to be prepared. So it's like you're having fast food and you're having a sit down, nice dinner. So you're having a nice dinner at 6 p.m. my time here with me. That's what it is because I prep ahead with it. So enjoy. And so that's it. So we're gonna go right in. So we're discussing about C software development life cycle. Like I mentioned earlier, these are high level, top level courses that I offer to my student, and I'm prepping that for you for free. So the first step of this software development life cycle, when you develop a system, like I said, I'll just recap a little bit so that you get refreshed, and for people that are just joining us so that they will know where we're coming from. I mentioned that when a customer approaches you and asks you to develop a system for them, when maybe you're a tech company or you are a freelancer, you're trying to develop an app or system or a product for them, especially software product, there is a process, a cycle you have to go through. You don't just gather requirement and start developing. No, you have to go through this process. And this is the software development life cycle. From the beginning to the end, there's something you have to go through. Okay, the steps you have to go through. And that's the step we are going to be looking at. The first thing you will do is gather requirement gathering. So that means you're going to meet the customer, you're going to have a lunch or dinner or discussion, whatever you decide to do. You're going to have a meeting with the customer. It might be a meeting where you have to meet in the office, or they may have to meet you in the restaurant, or whatever you guys decide to do. But there'll be something called requirement gathering, where you will be able to gather the requirement of the customer, like, okay, this is what I want. I need to create a website, and this is the purpose for which I want the website. This is how I want it to look like, and all of that. We're going to break all of this thing down. From there, you're going to start designing the product, then we do development, then we do testing, integration, deployment, and then we can dispose it. So let's go in and break it down one by one. So the first step, like I said, in the first stage is you have to identify the team members. So at all times, it's not only going to be one person in the IT department of a company that's going to develop the product. We have different, in most cases, right? If it's not a one-man shop, then there'll be other people that works in the team. So in the team, you have to identify different team members, right? In most teams, you will have a a business analyst, okay? You will have a project manager. Then you will have app designers, UI designers. You will have like a software developers, they call them programmers as well. You might have a database administrator, you might have a network admin, and so on and so forth. You may have an architect, depending on how big the project is. So all these people are going to be supporting you in this process. So it's not only one man show. It's going to be different people working different parts. Because you might be wondering, how will I do all of that? But if it's only you, you can also do it. If it's only one man shop, you can also do it. We're going to see how this is done. So the team identifies themselves, at least get ready. Then they start they have to meet the customer. So whoever is the top lead, maybe it's a business analyst, or it might be the scrum master, whatever your team decide, there'll be some top level management, group that will have to meet the customer, not everybody. And then in this stage, they gather the requirement, they meet the customer. So we always call this the kickoff meeting. They meet the customer, they gather the requirement and define the current problems that the customer, sometimes the customer might be already having a product, but they don't like it because there's a mistake, there's something they don't like, there's a bug, they don't want they no more want to use the current contractor, they want to change to your company now. You have to be able to let the customer know that you are best, you're going to give them the best product. So you have to be presentable, you have to listen very well and be able to gather all these requirements very well. It's very important, though, and be professional, because when they are giving you a requirement, that doesn't mean they will go with you at the end of the day. So you must be careful that you are professional and you pay attention to details. So in this stage, you will meet them, they will let you know, okay, this is our current problem. So if there's no problem, they will let you know, this is the first time, we have never done this before. So we gather a requirement, they will give you all the requests, the customer expectation and all of that. Everything has to be written down, right? And you gather all of those things together, put everything together, you create a plan, okay? You document everything, make sure. If you don't document the information very well, you might miss some things, right? So you want to make sure you document it. You might have to track it and put everything together. And then before you continue from that stage, you need to make sure that the customer sign off of this requirement. It might still grow, but at least whatever you have at each point in time, communicate with the customer. This is what I have. Is that okay? Do we want to add to it? Don't continue if we don't reach agreement on the requirement. That's the first stage, requirement gathering, okay? So from there, you start looking at, okay, now that the customer signed off and said this is what they want to do, then you start looking at, okay, let's design. So you already put this in tracing this, already put everything down. You will not start coding anything. You want to show us how this is gonna look like, okay? So Miss Dianna, Sham, Miss Tut, please feel free to chime in anytime to add to what I'm saying. That's fine, because we're gonna just take it stage by stage. I already discussed the first stage, which is gathering requirement. Do you have any additions to that before we even move to the next one?
Sorry, Ms. Tut, go ahead, please.
I was just gonna suggest that if anyone in the audience, I'm going through the audience and I'm seeing some people are like full stack developers, software engineers, and business analysts or Scrum Masters. If any of y'all in the audience, if you want to come up and discuss how you implement and apply the SDLC life cycles in your deployments and your applications, please feel free to come up and discuss how you guys discuss the requirements, the initiation of the process in, on your team, on your project. And if you can use some examples and give people ideas on, maybe someone's looking for a job right now and they have to explain the SDLC on their, to the interviewer, if you can help. Just suggestions. Thank you.
Okay, Sham, you want to say something?
I was just going to say, there was a bit that you said about, where I'm sorry, it's really late, but where we go and meet the customer. That would probably be people like account managers, business development managers, and things like that. This is something that I do in my day-to-day life, where we have project management, we have software developers, we have software teams and cloud and networking teams and various different teams that come out with us to the customers and really kind of find out what their requirements are, what their budgets are, really kind of focus on what they're trying to do for the following year. What I was going to say as well, I know this is a bit off subject, but every time I listen to Tammy, and I promise you guys, I do not know Tammy. I only met her on Clubhouse. And the reason why I come on her rooms is because she sounds, honestly, she is, I'm very much about energies, very much when I feel something, I know, right? She is so genuine. She gives back so much to the community. She comes on Clubhouse almost every day, and Miss Toots and Iana, and they give back so much information to you guys. Honestly, cybersecurity, I can tell you now, working as an account manager, we get to see so many different, we are the bread and butter of tech, literally. And we get to see so many different avenues. If I was to restart my career, I would definitely go into cybersecurity, because I'll tell you why, because the money in cybersecurity, AWS, data analysis, Scrum Master, all of these in tech is absolutely incredible. So if you're looking for a job and potential to have a very good, I'm not saying millionaires or billionaires or anything like that, that you would have to create our own businesses and all sorts for that. But if you want a comfortable life, I would definitely look into their courses and what they do and, things like that, because I can't stress enough how important it is to have these courses. So yeah, I just wanted, sorry, I know I've kind of repeated it, but yeah, I just wanted to say that because, Tammy, even when I'm just sat here, I'm just listening to you, I can see it, I can feel how sincere you are and how caring you are and how much information you give back. And honestly, I'd love to do like a room with you on Tech UK one time when I'm not so manic. And, you guys are all invited. Iana, Miss Toots, please come and be mods. But you're incredible. And I love being on your platform when I get chance. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm Sham speaking.
That's so sweet. Thank you. It's good to hear all of this, especially on days when you don't even want to come to Clubhouse and you be like, oh, I wish I don't have to come, but then I have to come.
Tammy, you're one of the people that I really warm to. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like I cannot express, right? When my heart warms to something, it's because my energy is warming to something. And I'm very much about positive energy. I've said this so many times, and my energies are mostly really accurate. And I really warm to you. And this is me being very genuine. Whether I come into your rooms or not, I always try whenever I get an opportunity, but a million things are going on in my life at the same time. But I warm to you, so I automatically warm to you. There's a reason behind that, So please, everyone, go and support the club, go and support Tammy, go and support Iana, Miss Toots, everyone. But I cannot stress how genuine she is. I know this. I get the feeling. I warm to her, and she's incredible. And I'm not here to give anyone a big head or anything. I'm just saying it how it is. Thank you, guys. I'm Sham, and I'm done speaking. I'll shut up now. Sorry.
Thank you. You're a prophetess. You see, our spirit can see, even though you can't see. If you can connect, our spirit can see what we can see, and that's the truth. Because most of the time I spend sleepless night thinking of what to do next. It's crazy. It's like something is just pushing me to do it. I'm restless when I'm not prepared for it. It's like I just have to do it, and I can't stop it. I can't even explain it myself. It's just stuck in my spirit, and that's what it is. To give back, to empower. You can see around, everything is Tech Empower House. I didn't make that up. It's because constantly in my spirit, I see empowerment, and I don't know where the empowerment is coming from. It's been a while. Tutu can testify to this. And I say, empowerment, what is empowerment? I pray all night, and I said, Lord, what is it? Empower what? Empower people in where? I don't know what it is until one of my students told me, Miss Tammy, this is what I saw. And he told me in the bathroom, and I was like, wow, this is a confirmation. So I don't know about Clubhouse until I started coming, and then everything is like, okay, you have to empower them here too. I was like, okay. So Tech Empower House is to empower you, to help you to give back. So when you see us constantly coming back, is to empower you. Miss Toots is not planned that she'll come with me to support me. Okay, like I said, I'm an introvert. I like to stay quiet and just study. I'm a bookworm. But Miss Toots just jump. I just told that I didn't even plan for it. Something told me, go to Miss Toots. I was like, what? Go ask her. Go and ask her what? That she should join you. And I told Miss Toots, can you come? And she just jumped. She's been following me around because it's ordained. It's not, I didn't pay her. She followed me around, and she just helped me. And I now knew it's divine. It's not me. It's beyond me. Okay. So what I'm doing here is beyond me. All these topics I bring is beyond me. I just have to give glory to who gave me, because it's not me. I don't make this thing up. I might be taking a 1 hour walk and something just pop in my spirit, talk about this. And I was like, what? Talk about this, and then I'll bring it. Then I'll research it. So this is what it is. So that's the energy you are feeling. It's not me, it's beyond me. This is beyond what I can do normally. So I thank you for that. Sorry, guys, I have to take you back to that lane, but that's where it's coming from. That's the energy you can feel because it's beyond what I can do. If you believe in such things, that's okay. But if you don't believe in such things, but there's something like that, okay? Yeah, so thank you all for everything that you do. I really appreciate your support. And surely you will get your reward. It's not going to be wasted. I bet. I can bet you. So we already discussed about the requirement gathering. So from there, you now put together the design. So how are you going to do design? Design doesn't mean that you have to start designing how the page is going to look like, the colors. No, you may have to pen it down. You may have to just write it down, do the architecture of how everything is going to look like, maybe just with pen and paper or whatever. But we have designers, right? The UI designers, UI, UX. Sometimes you call them GUI designers, graphic designer. They will pretty much take it and design what they think it should look like. So there are a lot of tools that you can use for designing. So the design phase where everything will be designed, and everything, the code guidelines, everything, and design documents, and the tools, the practice, the framework they're gonna be using. All of those things are done under design and planning. So they will do all of those things. You know, most of these things will fall from gathering requirement then to start planning and designing. So that's the when they do all the software planning and designing. Then they also have to show the customer, this is the design. Is that okay? You don't go ahead until the customer say yes. Why? Because the customer might say, oh, Tammy, I didn't ask you to do this. If you just don't, you have to constantly involve your customer and the stakeholders. Because when you get to the last stage, they might say it's not doing what they want it to do. And whose fault? You know, so you don't want them to not be satisfied with the product. So you have to always involve them. Okay. So going back to that. So from designing, we have to now say, okay, we have design. This is how it's going to look like. This is the color. This is how it's going to be like. This is what. So let's say, for example, we are doing like 5 pages website. So in the 5 pages website, we're going to have a home page, right? We're going to have maybe about us. Then we're going to have like services, and you might have contact us, and you might have frequently asked questions. You already got a requirement for that. The customer already told you how everything is going to be like and all that. So when you do planning, then you do design. This design is when you're going to look like, okay, this home page is going to look like this. It's going to have this content. It's going to have this icon, logo, pictures. All of those, you start thinking, you know, conceptualizing it and start kind of putting it together. You can't design what you don't have information about. You can't design what you are not sure what it's going to be, right? It's like you're building a house and you don't have a foundation. You don't have anything. You don't have a design. So you have to have architectural design of the building. You have to have everything prep. So this is the stage. You design, you prep, right? Then after which you can now start developing. Development, software development, pretty much like when you start now building the house on that foundation that you have created and you already have the architectural design, right? The same thing with software products. So now it's when you start designing. So it's not only software, it might be app, it might be phone, like all this Apple and all these companies that make products, even cars, Toyota, Nissan, they have to follow this process. Anything you develop and design, you have to follow a process. You can't just go ahead and start it. It can be applicable also to maybe a particular project that you are planning. It might not be software. You can use it for anything. I mean, it might tweak a little bit, okay? You might tweak it a little bit, but you can also use a process. That's why we talk about Scrum. There will be a time I'll bring Scrum here, so I have some Scrum students here that we're going to talk about how do you start from beginning to the end of a product. There are different ways, there are different phases, there are different methodologies. This is just a bigger picture of it, but we can still go deeper and break it down and change the process a little bit. Doesn't have to say software, it might say system, it might say something else, but we can go into that later. So software development now is when you start developing. So at this stage, if you are doing the front end or the back end development. We have different types of development, coding, programming, okay? So at this stage is when the programmers now, we take this template that they already made in the design and now start looking at it and start trying to develop it. And by the way, before I continue, you might be asking, how can you reach out to me? My number is right here. You can call my number, or you can click on my Instagram bio and schedule a discovery call. You just click on my bio, my link tree, or just look under my bio. You will see my link tree. I think it's on the second or third line. Go on there and schedule a call. I have some openings for Monday. I can talk to you. I can spend 30 minutes with you or 20 minutes to guide you, mentor you, or give you ideas, okay? That's fine, I do that all day. So that's fine. So you can do that to reach out to me, okay? So in the development now, we have different people that are working on different things, different, we have the developer, the programmers, they are working on the code. We have the database administrator, they're working on the database at this stage because we're talking about software, right? And we have everybody doing different things normally. So the front end code, they may be using different codes, like you've had Java before, you've had people talking about .NET, maybe C#, C++, AngularJS, React.js, they're doing HTML code, CSS. So all these things, the coding is happening at the development stage. Everybody's building. It's like when you're building a house, right? Everybody's now building, construction companies are coming. The same thing with software. Everybody is coming, they start developing, putting everything together. I'm thinking about cars too. This is when Toyota will start putting all the parts together and try to model and let how it's gonna look like, and start putting all this part together to develop from the model they've created in the design phase, right? So it's useful for different companies, different kind of company, right? So, and at the back end now we have the database admin. That's when they're gonna start looking at the database, creating the different data structures, creating their table, their store procedure, their triggers, their views, everything they are doing now, the objects, right? They can have database in Oracle, it can be in SQL, different types, right? It can be on the cloud, it can be in the premises. All these times is when they start doing the development and front end and back end. So at this stage, there's a lot of development going on. They are building it, they are building everything together. And thank you, Vivek, for joining us. I appreciate you coming. And I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself. And I'm sure you'll be able to chime in also. Thank you so much. So development stage, right? And it's very important too. Let me also, stress about security. Even though we are talking about system development life cycle, we must have to integrate security from the early stage. When we start meeting the customer, that is when we start thinking about, okay, what kind of security do we need? So you don't add security after you are finished. Don't add security when you are finished. Start early in life. It's very, very important that you do that. Thank you, Mentor Tech, for inviting. Thank you so much for that. So start early. So I'll stop right there. I'll let Vivek chime in and introduce himself so we can continue. So we're in development phase. Thank you, Vivek. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks for having me here. And as always, happy to be here on stage with all of you. This is Vivek. I'm founder of SDA Skills. It's a nonprofit aimed at helping people improve their software development skills. And I'm also an engineering manager at Facebook. So if folks are looking for a referral into Facebook, look at my bio towards the bottom, you'll see how to do that. Happy to help and support me anyway. I'm just catching up on the topic of the room. I'm assuming it's about the SDLC.
Yes, Vivek, it's SDLC. And I want to thank Vivek because I remember when I first started on Facebook, Vivek is always here. Every room I run, Vivek will be here with me. And Nikita will be here and all of them will be here supporting me. So I really want to give it back to him. I really want to thank him for all the support that, I know he's so busy right now, Clubhouse, so I'm not mad, but I'm always glad when he's here to support. Thank you so much for that. So, so we are discussing about software development life cycle. So if you want to chime in, we already discussed about we are looking at the phases we discussed about from requirement gathering to software design. We're looking at development now. So you are free to add on to it if you want to.
I think go ahead. I think follow the chain. I think you have it in the right pace. Once you're at a point where if there are any specific questions, I'll happy to chime in at that point.
Okay, thank you for that. So after the development has been done and everything is now in package, everything is now built and all that, they have to be testing. Okay, so in this testing phase, which is testing and integration, we have to test the product. A product that is developed, that doesn't mean it's going to work correctly. It might not work correctly. It has to be tested, right? So you test it. Now we have testers. That's why we have testers, right? So this is what we call quality assurance, making sure that the quality is according to specification, according to the requirement, right? So you have to test. So there are different types of tests. Okay, it can do unit testing, and you can do you're performing the integration and end-to-end tests. We do validation, verification. So sometimes when customers put input into the system, right? They have to when you enter data, right? Let me just use simple English. When you enter data, sometimes if you are not careful with the way they input the data, you have to check their input. Sometimes you put in some input, let's say for example, phone number, you put a phone number and it's not recognized because maybe you put some special character or some things that based on the way it's coded, it's gonna tell you this is wrong, like error or something like that, right? That's because they are validating the input. So all these things are tested to make sure that it's working correctly, all the units, all the function. There's functional and non-functional testing, which is for another day. I don't want to go too deep into all those details. So all the tests are tested. Then there's if you are a developer, we have something we call peer-to-peer. So you test for your colleagues, they test for you. Different way of testing. Even there will be some time that the customer will even come on site and even sit there and test too to make sure that, that's one of the last phase where before the demo, the customer will come here and sit down and test also to make sure that it's working according to specification that they actually want. So they test everything. And then if there's any bugs, the bugs are identified and they are fixed. So this is the bug fixing phase. And in the other hand, if we are also working with, because these days you have to make sure that you can pass through the compliance for cybersecurity compliance, right? So at the compliance level, you also want to make sure that as you are testing, we are also testing to make sure that the software is in compliance with whatever framework you are using in cybersecurity. Okay, the cybersecurity framework you are using, if it's on the cloud or if it's on the premises, there are some framework that you have to use to test, assess the system, making sure the controls are in place. So all this testing also and assessment is also going on in the cybersecurity area. So if you have your own company or if you have a project you're working on, make sure that security is already implemented, incorporated into the system from the beginning, so that it's not after the fact that you are now trying to implement security, which is going to be a waste of time for everybody, a waste of resources, and it's going to take longer. So after the testing has been done and everything is passed through the testing phase, then it's not until then you can deploy. Deployment pretty much means putting the system forward for production. So before the production, there's always something called the demo, which is like you demo it to the customer. They have to come and see it. It's like a big phase whereby you have to build a new building and everybody come and cut the tape, right? Like, hey, congratulations, this is, do it, you show it to the world. This is what we have done, right? So after development and all of that, this can come up where all the customer will come and they will look at it and they will test it and they will show them the product. Then they say, okay, that's fine. Then you can deploy it in the environment, because we have different environment, right? You have development environments where the team members are working on it. Then we have an environment where you test and stage the data, put everything together. And before it's now finally deploying to the customer environment, If it's going to be on the cloud, if it's going to be in the premises somewhere, it's now put for the customer to use it. So it's pretty much on production. But this day and age, because of the compliance for cybersecurity, before it can be deployed, it has to pass through the cybersecurity framework also to get approval. We call the ATO. So ATO is authority to operate. So they must be able to say, okay, we have tested all these controls, we have assessed all this list of controls, the system is good to go, so you can put it up. Without that approval, you can't put your system on, especially if the system has to be according to that specification because of the government rules and regulation, their policy and procedure of that organization, okay? So and because of sensitive data too, sometimes you track sensitive data, you have to go through this kind of process, right? So when it's deployed now, then it's live. So there's everything is tested already, is deployed, and the customer can start using it and all that. And while it's deployed, there's something called it's operational. They're using it, right? But there will be maintenance, right? So that means customer might come and say, oh, Tammy, can you add this thing? Can you take this out? So this also has to be tracked, okay? Because it's live, that doesn't mean everybody will now sit down and cross their hands and feel like, yay, we are done. Let's have party. Let's have champagne and just chill. Yeah, there's a phase for that when you are celebrating, but then you have to maintain, right? So back to work. Continuous monitoring, continuous development, continuous integration. So at this stage is when we now have to make sure we are reviewing everything. We have to track the change management. When they want to make any change, we have to track it. The configuration has to be tracked. Everything has to be monitored. We call it continuous monitoring. So now that you can add more to it, you can take away from it, but it has to be a teamwork. I can't just say, Tutu, can you please add this? And Tutu will just go ahead and add it without tracking it, because then, it's like too many parts. There's development parts and there's security parts. So you have to be able to track everything so that everything is syncing together. So we have to sync everything together in such a way that, okay, I have to track everything. That's what I'm not going to teach cybersecurity here, but you see me going back and forth because this day you can't discuss software development lifecycle without discussing security. If you don't, then you are not complete. Even though if the company is not implementing it, then there's a problem. It might not be in a high level, but maybe it's a low impact system. You still have to discuss security. Okay, so they have to stay in compliance. So we have to track everything. If they're going to make a big change, a big maintenance, you may have to put it off till the next version of the system, because you might push you off compliance and then you have to start all over, So you have to do it bit by bit and make sure everything is tracked. And also in the document, it's cybersecurity document. We have different documents, but I will not mention those things right now, So those things are very, very important in the life of a system, that you're able to track your system. You're able to go through the life cycle from gathering requirement to designing the software, to software development, to testing, integration, deployment. And after a while, maybe many years, they may decide to dispose it. It can't just stay there forever, They may decide to retire the system or dispose it. Think about it. I always tell people, Facebook. When we started using Facebook, do we have the advertisement part? There's many things we don't have before, but they added it because they were doing, they were doing maintenance. So they were adding it gradually and you don't even know, you just saw new things popping up. I heard there's some new feature that's going to be coming on Instagram too. Now I added it on Clubhouse today. So there are a lot of new things. Huh? Is that what?
They're changing around the algorithm.
Yeah.
Instagram. So that's part of changes on an application. And this is where you also do your configuration management process or configuration management policies, because you're changing things on an application. There's a different policy and paperwork that goes along with that on a security level. And of course, on the software level, there's also other things that goes along with, the programming and the testing and, the new application. but they're adding, they've added that you can add videos like up to 4 people on Instagram. They're changing the algorithm around. Facebook has the audio now, so you can create an audio room, just like, you know, Clubhouse. So they've added that on Facebook application as well.
Yes, see, these are all new. Oh, Miss Dianna, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they also added a feature, a brand new feature to Instagram where you can designate your business as a Black-owned business. That had never been done before, but I believe they're starting out with businesses that are selling products. So businesses that have their online shops on their Instagram pages. They're going to start with those businesses first and then expanding to all different types of businesses. So you can designate your business as a Black-owned business, which I thought was really cool when I heard that today.
Wow, that is really cool, you know. And even looking at Clubhouse, see how far Clubhouse has grown from when it started, constantly growing, new features. You know, sometimes when you come to this recap rooms, it's like 3 hours. I was like, what are they talking about? Forever? You know, because they are adding new features every time. You know, so this is what we're saying. So there'll constantly be new features, and they will take the old features away. So they can decide to take part of it away, or decide to, you know, completely close some things down, you know. So this is retirement and disposition. They might dispose some part or the entire product. That will happen. And you ask me, so when they dispose it, what's going to happen? They put, like, especially the government, right? They put it on the shelf. It's there. And they may not be able to use the technology again, because by this time the technology might be obsolete. But that there's a lot of research company that can now go there and do some research and use it for their product. So a lot of these things that you see out here, the technology that you see out here, they are technology that have been built for the government many years ago, and they're sitting in their shelf on the archive as a legacy system. So now these companies, this small business like myself, there's a lot of projects, a lot of government projects, they actually pay you. If you have good proposals, they pay you to use this research project to create some product. You have an agreement with them. You can work with the patent office agency and actually make it a product. Think about all this microwave that we're using. These are government technology for many years. Now, I mean, based on research that I read. And now companies are making it, they are selling it. These are technologies that they've used with the government agencies. So all these things are there. They're sitting in the shelf, sitting in the shelf. A lot of things I've seen out here. There are products that we have built, and this like the GPS, we actually built some GPS product when I was working for the military, supporting them. That now you can see a lot of them now. That time we don't have those things. Now we have them, you understand? So all these things are technologies that companies can borrow from this, even if you don't use the concepts, and you can look at the code, they allow you to them, and then you can use them. They became unclassified. Some of them are classified, but they can, you know, become unclassified, and then they can be used for regular, you know, becoming public, as they can easily access them and use them. So this is when the system is retired and disposed. It's in the archive, okay? So if you have a company and you're interested in product, these are the things that you can look into, you know, and you can make tons of money as a small business creating products, you know, working on products. All this research company, they make tons of money doing that, and they have grants for them, grants for these things. So it's very important that we do research and find out, you know, opportunities. There are tons of opportunity out there, and those can be useful. So any questions as we go? I know it's already 1 hour, so always 60 minutes room. Any additions, any questions? Okay, there's none, right? So there are different types of life cycle, which I'm going to be covering another time. We have a waterfall, we have an agile, we have the iterative model, the V-shaped model, the Big Bang model, the spiral model, you know. So I'm going to be discussing those ones another time. And the benefit, why do we want to use this life cycle? Why is it important? You know, so we're going to be discussing those ones as well. Because if you have a process and you are using the process, for sure it will save you time. You know, we know that from the back of our hand that it will save you time. You're not going to be going back and forth with the customer and you don't know what you're doing, or customer doesn't even know what they want. Because customer is always right. Most of the time they don't know what they want. They know to some extent, but they don't know everything. So if you track it very well, they are impressed with you. You sure know that they will depend on you and come back for more. They might give you a bit of a project, but when they know that the contract, you know what you are doing, they give you more. They continue to come back because they can trust you. You build trust in them, because the major thing is that you are taking it a day at a time. You are helping them to resolve their problem, and you are working professionally with them, and you are tracking it, and so they will always come back. So make sure you always use it. Don't just go to customer and gather requirement and just continue to develop. No, and you will not have any disagreement with them because you are working with them and you are tracking it. Communication, see, collaboration, all these your transferable skills come into play here. Leadership, because now you're a leader, you are talking to customer, you're meeting the stakeholder, you are trying to make sure you involve them all. Because in most cases, you see these customers, right? Most of them don't work together. Some agencies they don't see eye to eye. They just cannot work together. It's like they are rival. And they think one agency is trying to expose them or whatever. It's just a natural thing. So you are the one that will know how to cement the relationship and work with them and make sure they all come to the meetings and court them and guide them and they wash up. So you have to play the politics there. See, this is where your leadership skills come. This is where they may have conflicts. This is where your conflict resolution comes. So all these skills, you have it. Continue to nurture them, because you might need to use it. Most customers are very good. They are very nice, but some are not. So what if you meet those kind of people? How do you work with them? Difficult people. Don't let me go to that lane, because that's a different lane. But you see all of these things coming. So and also if you have a mentor who guide you through it. I mean, if you are my student, if you call me, if you have issue with your job, I will pretty much tell you what to do. At that, tell me, some student will come and say, Miss Tammy, this is what is happening at my job. It's not related to my class, but I will tell them, do this, don't say this. I pretty much prep them for what they will do next day, and we always see results. Why? Because we already walked the lane, we already seen it, we already know the results, so that you don't have to step on stone and step on nails and cut yourself and injure yourself. We guide you. I guide my students for every single thing, everything, including even mentoring them for what to say, how to approach difficult situations. Okay, so I love doing this. I mean, I can't see myself doing any other thing than just mentoring and supporting and doing what I do. So I'm very grateful for everybody. Miss Dianna, you want to say something?
You are a true professor at heart. You are a teacher, you are an instructor, you are truly a guide, Professor Tammy, and I'm very grateful for you. And when you come into Tech and Powerhouse, you are going to learn a lot. So that is a wonderful thing. You can't really get this time and this information from a lot of people on here because they're super busy. But I really appreciate the fact that you take the time out of your schedule every day to help, to teach, to guide, to inform, to instruct. That is priceless. So I just want to thank you so much for all the great work that you're doing, the valuable information that you're sharing with others here to teach and guide them on what they need to do in order to prepare them for the careers that they are going after in technology. And I would just say for the job seekers in the room, definitely utilize the software development lifecycle process throughout your interviewing as well. When you can speak to the different steps and you can invite the recruiter into your thought process, your problem-solving process of how you're developing software, how you're working with a cross-functional technical team, how you're working with stakeholders, how you're working with clients, how you are creating solutions, how you're innovating and coming up with creative ideas. You can incorporate the steps that she mentioned today when you're speaking to the recruiters and the hiring managers and you're interviewing for these positions, when you're going through the technical interviews, when you're doing whiteboarding. You can definitely speak about the different stages and the different steps that it takes so that we know and we understand that you have a full understanding of the life cycle process and how to work on technical teams. That's going to be very, very important to you when you're interviewing for technical roles. So I just wanted to mention that and say thank you again this time.
Thank you, Dianna. Thank you so much for everything. Vivek, do you have any words of advice for maybe people should embrace SDLC or whatever you want to advise people about? Vivek, are you here? Okay. Ms. Toots, as we close down, do you have any word of advice concerning software development lifecycle in a project?
Yeah, Dianna basically said what I was going to say. I was trying to bring people up to answer questions, maybe like do a little mock, interview or, give statements on how they applied the SDLC process in their day-to-day tasks on their project. But basically, okay, we have someone coming up. Sajit Kumar. And we have Marius Apolas. I'm sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. Forgive me, please. So yeah, the SDLC life cycle, usually for me in cybersecurity, I'm usually on the development or the operation and maintenance stage. And we work with the security packages to get the ATL package approved or initiated. So we do like the kickoff meetings. We gather all the, compliance documents for the security packages, and then we have it reviewed, and we have the authorizing officials sign off on these documents and, approve it, and then we get audited, right? So that's what I do on the cybersecurity, information security side. But it's different for people in the business development, the business analysts, and the software developers. It's different. They are involved in the other stages of the SDLC cycle. I am mainly familiar with the development and the operations and maintenance stage, which is those two stages are the stages I'm typically involved in. I was kind of involved in the decommission stage, the last stage of one project. And I think according to my project manager, the project was decommissioned, or either that or someone else took over the new contract, and basically maybe they're integrating it to either combining it to a new system or decommissioned it to the archive. But that project ended. So, I wasn't really involved in the process of, ending it like that, but I was just told, this project is ended, and you don't have to bill for this project anymore. You don't have to work on any of the documents involved in that project. But if anyone wants to come and speak, I did bring some people up, Sajid Kumar and then Marius can go next. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Marius, and I want to thank you guys all for the good work you're doing. I'm actually learning. I just have a brief question. So, I sometimes find myself trying to advertise myself to, let me say, my peers that I am a web developer, a mobile developer, like a programmer. When I'm in a conversation with like people, maybe I meet on Instagram somehow, and they tell me what they want, and finally they'll be like, so how much are you going to charge me before we can do the work? And anytime they ask me that instantly, whenever they ask me that question, I'm like, for a second, I'm like, oh, let's get started first so that we know what we are about. It's like every day they meet you first with the money issue. And sometimes I find it very difficult to tackle issue like that. So I don't know if there's any help with that. And more so, like, be the youth when they're like, oh, I want to do my business online. I need an e-commerce. I need this. When they come in and you're like, okay, example, okay, would you pay me $1,000? I can do this for you. I'm like, this is too much. I want to do this. I want to do. Sometimes I get confused and I don't know what to do. So I don't know if this can be addressed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maurice. Actually, it was supposed to be Sajid Kumar that will go before you.
Not an issue, not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Maurice, I understood your question. First, if anybody would want to answer that, and then maybe I could also share my.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Sajid Kumar.
So it's all about positioning yourself, right? You have to know your value. Sometimes if people are trying to cut you on money, then you have to either move away. So this is exactly like in a job, right? When you are going for the interview and then the person asks you, what are you expecting? And then let's say you say 100K and they say that 100K is too much, we can offer you 60K. Then you have to understand how much do you value yourself. But of course, you have to know the market value. But then if the market value is based on your experience says that you are worth 100K, why would you short sell and if you know that you have the skills, why would you short sell yourself to 60K? Because you know your market value. Of course, if you're at a disadvantage where you don't have a job, then the question is, should you wait until you get 100K? I would say if you have that worth, wait until you get the right job. Because if you go in at 60K and you start working, I'm sure that if you you have worth of your expertise is worth 100K, you would not feel satisfied in the job and immediately you start looking out. So how many times would you look out until you find your perfect job? I would rather say look and search for your perfect job. Or in the case of what Maria said, if that client is not willing to pay you the money for what you're worth, move on, look for other clients. Just my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, also, I'm in Ghana. And sometimes it's very difficult to convince people to put their stuffs online. Like, even if somebody comes to that they want a website, they kind of feel like it's needed, it's not needed, it's needed. Sometimes you need to even convince them the more, which I think is kind of a big problem here in Africa, especially Ghana. Let me say Ghana.
No, Maurice, it's across the globe. It's across the globe. Every person has the same problem. Sometimes you say that you are an expert. You say this is what you're pitching. I've seen this with coaches. I've seen this with digital marketing experts. This is not only in Maurice, in Ghana. This is across the globe. So you have to understand your value. So I would go like this. If I have to build that brand and in your website, I show that people find value in the work that you do, I would take recommendations on LinkedIn. I would take recommendations and put it on your website to show the quality of the work that you've done. Always emphasis on the quality, because then you can charge a premium. That's what it is, right? Simple example, why do people go for branded stuff? It's because they not because the quality of the other stuff is not important. They position themselves as a brand that has value, and that is why people pay a premium. Position yourself as a brand that has value, reinforce it by the clients that you have worked in the past, get their feedback, get their references, put that in your website or LinkedIn so that people who are searching for your particular brand, they know what you're worth. And please do not go below that. Just my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sajid Kumar. And yes, so I know Ms. Dianna want to say something. You also need to have a price list, okay? Have a price list, write everything down. Okay, for this 5 pages website is this amount. For this 6 pages website, this amount. If it's gonna have e-commerce, you add this to it. Have all of that. Make sure you have a website yourself. Don't say, okay, you create a website, create a nice website for you and list those things on your website. So that if they want to sign up or do anything, let them go on there. You have a process. Let them follow that process And if you have a process in place and they can see all your testimonials, what you have been doing and everything, there's a limit to what they can ask, okay? That's okay. And sometimes, okay, sometimes if you want, you can do sales like bonus, okay? I'll give you 10% of a new customer or something that can make them to come. So that they will know that as if it's not as if you are charging them a lot. You do these promos sometimes, but right now, this is what it is. So just work around it. When they ask you to, it's typical. They do that to me even. Some people were, they'll be asking me, Mr. Can I get 50%? Or Mr. Can I was like, really? It's already cheap. It's already, but they still want to do that. So if you feel like you want to do that to help them, but have a standard, at least go with that standard. Let them see what you are doing, do your promo, do your jingle, let people know who you are, be out there, market to them. You know, also know how to market you can see a lot of people strategizing, marketing their products. So you will be your best product, you know, you are the best engineer, you are the one that actually can sell your product too. So now how to talk to them, how to encourage them to come for it and tell them you're going to back them or you're going to support them. So they will know that even if they don't like something, you can change it. And you just talk to them and let them know that let them feel comfortable with you. If they are comfortable with you, it will not be too difficult for them to pay. So that they know if they pay and they're not satisfied, you can always help them. So they'll be comfortable and they will work with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That's what I was going to share as well. Make sure you have a good price list and that you're providing the technical specs in your business proposals to those clients. You know, what exactly are they paying for? You break that down in a one sheeter, you know, with the price list, and maybe there's a checkbox next to your recommendation in terms of what they need, so that they can also put their recommendations as well and have a price for each item that they check off. And then, you know, keep in mind also that there's a different price point for each person, right? So you have to know where you fall as a business owner in the, you know, price that you're offering. So there are business owners that like to stay on the lower end. There are those that like to stay in the mid-range, and those that are higher. They know their worth, they know their value, they know what packages and services they're offering, and they know that it's exceptional or it's on a high level. So know which range you want to fall in as an owner. Maybe you start at one level and you graduate gradually. I know that's how I started. I started up from the bottom and I graduated and increased the price, increased the package, increased the services, increased my time, right? Increased my education, increased my value, much more options. So now I can offer many more things than when I first started out as a business owner. So you will grow as well. So, you know, you have to let people know what they're getting and how they can pay it off as well. When you're offering a service like that, it comes with a large payment, right? So I would assume that you have different payment options that are available, whether they need to put down a 50% deposit, whether they need to make 3 payments or 2 payments, you know, give people that option as well. Some people love to just pay off everything one time up front and get the services and get it done. So let them know, you know, kind of what they're getting and what the payment options are as well, and what that includes, your value, your time, your service, and what you're offering. So don't ever shortchange yourself. You know, don't ever think because, oh, people don't want to, you know, pay this that I should change who I am or what I'm doing. No, there is a customer for you. There is a client for you. There are people who are always going to need your talent and your services. You just have to find them. It is not always where we think, who we think, or how we think, or customers or clients are going to come to us. Sometimes God will send them from a different country, a different, you know, region, just to come to you, because, you know, that's just how it is set up, you know, for your success and your destinies. But continue to be creative. Please fill out your information here on Clubhouse so people can know what you do, how to get in touch with you, what services you're offering, your website, and other information like that. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much.
Okay, Sajid, Kumar, do you have a question? Any questions?
I don't have a question. I know that you're going to close. Just a thought process that I have. And Tammy, I have forwarded that link for you on LinkedIn. You can use some of these technologies or principles of software development in your life too. So one of the things that you can use in your life is agile methodology. This is something that I'm exploring. I have a friend who is helping people use agile in their life. This is something that I'm also exploring and seeing whether I can improve my abilities and my capabilities using the agile methodology. So just a thought. I've shared the link to Tammy. It's specifically for women entrepreneurs or women in tech. So connect with Tammy on LinkedIn and find out whether you are suitable for this. Just my thoughts, closing thoughts. Think about it. If you know what agile methodology is, and see whether you can apply that in your life too. Just thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's some of the things also we discussed. Agile methodology as in Scrum, we already mentioned that. And Kanban and, all the different methodologies. These are some of the courses I offer too. Actually, I have a class going on now on Scrum. Yeah, and there'll be a day that we'll be discussing that. I think we discussed that like 2 weeks ago. So I thank you so much.
I was talking about using agile in your life to progress your career, implementing in your life, not only in technology. So if you know the principles and you're applying in your software development life cycle, please try to implement that in your life too. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sajid. Yeah, that is, yeah, you can use it in every area of your life. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, so we're gonna close down the room. So I thank you all for joining. I know we've used 28 minutes more than the regular time, which is great because questions were coming. So I thank you all. We're gonna meet again on Sunday. Tomorrow I'll have class all day, so I will be here, but I will not have a room because it's gonna be too late to be coming. But on Sunday, we're gonna be discussing, make sure you follow the room. Okay, we're gonna be discussing about skill set and mindset. Which one is more important? How do you use it? Share your experience. We have a lot of moderators coming to discuss about skill set and mindset. This week we've done a lot. Yesterday we discussed about mindset for your career growth. Day before we discussed about future-proof your career. And we've gone on and on and on and on this week, all day, every day. So today is the 5th day for this week, and we're gonna have a room 4 p.m. on Sunday, skill set and mindset. Which one is the best? When do you use each? When do you have to use one over the other? Through your career, from looking for job to getting interviews, up to getting the job done and going back and forth in that cycle. When do you use your skill set? When do you need your mindset and all of that? So you will see us coming to discuss that. Okay, make sure you follow my YouTube channel. Look under my bio for that. There are tons of resources on there, free classes. I have classes on data analysis on there, free class. I have free class about Scrum. I have free class about cybersecurity. They are all there. I have some free master class there, and all of our YouTube channel, all of our Clubhouse sessions are all on there. Many more are coming every single day, new ones coming. All of the different topics, imagine that we'll be going over for many months are all on Clubhouse, and new ones are coming every time. So, and also about your resume, how to create smart resume, smart cover letter, smart profile on LinkedIn. They're all on there. So make sure you follow it and subscribe to it and share with your friends and family. If you want to talk to me about mentorship, career questions, click on my Instagram bio and schedule a discovery call. I'm going to guide and help you. Follow me on LinkedIn. Why? Because I always post these rooms. I summarize the room and put them on LinkedIn so that you can see summary of what we've done. So make sure you follow us, all the moderators, follow them. And I thank them for joining us, Ms. Toots, Dianna, Vivek, Asaji Kuman, and all the other people that have left us already. Thank you to all my students that are here and everybody on the audience. We really appreciate you. We hope to see you. Yes.
I have an offer for people who are in this group and who are listening to your talk today. Anybody for next week, I can take anybody who's interested to have their LinkedIn profile reviewed. I will review it for him just because you are in Tammy's group. I will review it for you free of cost. And anybody who wants their LinkedIn profile reviewed, please connect with me. And this is because you are part of this group.
Yes. Thank you, Sajid. Actually, I was thinking to do some LinkedIn profile review. Miss Tut was asking, we were discussing that yesterday. I don't know what you guys' schedule is. Any day that we can do it, 6 p.m. Which days you guys want us to do it next week? Miss Dianna? Yeah, let's just let's I'm gonna, which day is good? I'll put your 6 p.m. in the evening.
Yes, 6 p.m. for sure.
Which day? Which day is good?
I think Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays, probably.
Okay. Sajid, which day is good for you?
My times, I'm following you, so I will chime in whenever it is there. I can't specify on the timings because sometimes meetings and all this happen, but anytime you're there, if I'm free, I'll definitely jump in, not an issue.
Okay. Miss Dianna will do for Wednesday, 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Yeah, so let's do it for that. I'll put it out so that people can see it. We'll do a live Instagram, we help them, looking at, LinkedIn profile, we're gonna help them with that. And then there'll be a day we do resumes. We put a resume out, we'll help you to look at it and, guide you how to make, and also go on my LinkedIn and my YouTube, you see a lot of information how to create great resumes. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you all for joining us. And until when we meet again, which is gonna be on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I wish you all the best and stay safe out there. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, all of you.
You too. You all have a great weekend. Bye. God bless you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.